Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
at that, I
looking
don't
at
know.
the
My rap, my
youngest
blood
and
boils
best
over like.
rising star in
Oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things. Realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted. So mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Heel the Ring podcast brings to you the most electrifying over podcast of the world. He is the BX Sports Jedi and the Samurai, and they are the Heel of the Ring NXT podcast review. Salute, Samurai. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We'll get right into it. It is the go home show, NXT 2.0, May 31st, the final day of my favorite month of the month of May, and NXT ready to go with their go home show for In Your House this Saturday, June 4th at 8 o'clock. We started off with none other than a backstage promo, Roderick Strong, telling the Key brothers and Ivy Nile, take the night off. Me and Damian Kemp, we got the Pretty Deadly, and we're gonna take care of it. You know, the Messiah is gonna show you how it's done. What's your thoughts on that promo prior to the match? Selling the stay back and taking the night off.
I mean, you know, it was for what it was. It was actually a good promo by Roddy, because he usually doesn't cut good promos. You know, but for that, I think they're gonna just really realistically stay together, because that's what they're going with. They're going to break them up, and we don't want that.
All right. So once that promo's cut, we head to the ring. Pretty Deadly, the NXT Tag Team Champions, come out, and of course the match begins. All in all, Roderick Strong back and forth with Pretty Deadly. I thought the match was very good. I like for a tag team match. Back and forth. One thing I love about was with Kemp. You saw Roderick Strong just gave him like a coach's smack and woke his rear end up, and he just exploded with a series of suplex on Prince. I was like, you know what? Keep an eye on Damian, because he is going to be a player. Kemp is going to be. He's got something that says he's got an it factor. Samurai. I really enjoy that part of the match.
Yeah, for what it was, like I said, he's actually pretty good, and this is my first time actually seeing him in action. He actually is. He's on par with Roddy in that aspect of it. So I think they actually have, you know, good chemistry. There's that word.
They do.
Chemistry.
They do. And the match was fair. It was good. And that was really be honest with you, this is like my real first time to sit down and really watch Pretty Deadly as a tag team. I am very impressed with Pretty Deadly. I am really impressed with them.
Yeah, I mean, I watched them in NXT UK. They're not that bad.
No, they're very entertaining. They know how to tag. They know how to cut the ring across. They know how to be heels, especially when trying to prevent their opponents from getting that hot tag to their opponents. They know how to cut the ring off. I was very. You know what? I'm a fan. You know, I was like, oh, look at this gimmick. You know, that's why you can never judge a book by its cover. I looked at the cover and I was like, Pretty Deadly. Look at these clowns. I'm like, oh, come on, novelty hats. No, you know what? I'm a fan. You know what? I am a fan, and from a heel standpoint of putting over, even though the crowd was cheering, at times, and I want to say kudos to the NXT crowd in Orlando. They were phenomenal. They were over, not just for that match, the whole entire night. You see the back and forth, Diamond Mine, Pretty Deadly, back and forth, and I loved it because the crowd interaction, even though it's a small, intimate arena, but they were on fire. And kudos, salute to the crowd in Orlando, my hometown. Phenomenal. I loved it. And let me ask you this about what's Diamond Mine. I was saying to myself, Dominic Strong. We before we get to that Dominic Strong, let's give the summary of the match here. Now, you saw the back and forth, good back and forth calamity of the match. We saw Pretty Deadly now interjecting the NXT tag titles. And you're gonna see, I think it was Prince was gonna hit Roderick Strong with the world's title, and out comes one of the Creed brothers, moves Strong out of the way. He gets hit with the belt, with the title over his head, knocks him on the apron. Then enough to distract Roderick Strong. Pretty Deadly hits their mini finishing move, and they get a pin on Roderick Strong for the victory. The tag team champions win, although I think it was a non-title match, but they win regardless. Now, Roderick Strong has not won a match, I don't know, quite some time there. Now, my question to you was it a punishment from WWE bookers? Remember, he mentioned a month ago he wanted his release. He wants to go with his boyfriend Adam Cole in AEW and be part of that elite, and over there. And before we go, do you think that was a punishment or just something here building a storyline?
I think it's something to do with the storyline, but it also could be a punishment as well. But then also at the same time, I don't see it being a punishment because, Shawn Michaels absolutely adores Roderick Strong. So I think it could be both, actually, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
As much as I don't want him to leave, because we all see what's happening over in the other place.
Now, my question, my thing, this is my opinion, and I don't want to say too much because we're constructed on time today. My opinion is, if Strong wants to leave, and I don't know how much time he has on his WWE current contract or NXT contract as a performer. If there's about a couple months, under 90 days, and his contract is up, if I'm the WWE, if he wants to leave, release him. Let him go. Let him go to AEW. Let him go over there, be part of the elite, get buried over there with the 20,000 wrestlers that they have. And because let me tell you something, Roderick Strong, in my opinion, in my eyes, he's not main roster material. He's too short. I know you said Shawn Michaels the same height wise, but Shawn Michaels had like you said, cut a promo. He was above and beyond. He Rey Mysterio has a charisma, where I don't see Roderick Strong has that charisma, in my opinion, to translate and take the WWE and actually try putting the WWE on his shoulders. Not everyone has to put the WWE on their shoulders. They could be good mid-carders, a great intercontinental champion, USA champion. But if he's unhappy and he wants his release and he has less time here, then you know what? Just grant it. Let him go, in my opinion.
I agree with you there. It's just like I said. It's just unfortunate he wants to go over to AEW and get buried, basically, because that's what's going to happen.
He just wants to hold the elite's jock straps. That's all. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, let's just be face it, But let's not. Yeah. Let's your final thoughts before we move on this.
Yeah, that was my last 2 cents.
Yeah. So now we saw him returning back, Strong, back in the locker room, very irate, very upset. Arguing with the Creed brother and Ivy Nile. And Ivy Nile says, well, they were trying to save your butt he took the belt shot over his head, saw him with the ice went on his head from you getting a chair shot. He says he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear any excuses, Roderick Strong. He says, if you guys don't win the NXT tag belts in your house, you're out of Diamond Mine. Big ultimatum there. And you saw Ivy and Creed brothers, don't worry, we're going to get it. We ain't going anywhere. So it looks to me like it's going to be breaking up.
Yeah, that's where I think it's going as well. But then at the same time, they are the face. I guess you could say Roderick Strong was face, but since the Diamond Mine as a whole should be a face team or face, stable. That's the way it is. I mean, that's how I see it. But I do think that they might win because their faces and they're chasing the titles. So that's what I want. I want them to realistically win. So
Yeah, I also had a thought here with Max Dupree in in SmackDown now, and now his character is international male model, contractor, whatever the case is, and they're gonna need male models to go and be part of his staple. Perfect staple members for that male model for Mac Dupree will be pretty deadly. With a little bit of a change, maybe the cutoff shirts, but they fit that look that Max Dupree might have and start out because it looks like WWE is going to start getting into fashions and stables. I mean, and it looks like they're going to have with Judgment Day. You have the Bloodline, and it's fine. I find that fun. I find it fun, and I'm okay with it's good. Now and maybe they're the next one. Maybe all dedication depending on In Your House. If they do drop the tag team titles, I can see them, appearing Monday. It's gonna not Monday. It's Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Although there's no more brand sets, we'll talk about that in another podcast. It looks like WWE is gonna cut the brands, and wrestlers could interact to any different shows when needed. But we'll leave that for another time, another day. We're constricted on time. And I could see them on SmackDown getting elevated because I thought I thought, I was very impressed. I'm like, this tag team is ready to go into the main roster in SmackDown, and they're safe. They're safe. But what I mean, their look, even though they, some people might say, oh, get a haircut, they might look, but they're safe. They're commercial. Pretty Deadly is commercial for SmackDown of Fox television network.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think I do, like I said, I do think they dropped the titles to the Creed brothers because we all know the Diamond Mines shouldn't break up, but
or they take over and they'll even by winning the belts, the tag title belts, they might take over Diamond Mine and kick Roderick and finally and really in the storyline kick him out, and he's down on his luck, and that might be his release. And you know what? Go have fun. Go have fun with go have fun with the rest of the 25 rosters that's gonna try to cram in on a 2-hour show. Go have fun, or I'll see you in Dark Elevation. Go by.
That's exactly what it'll be. Dark Elevation. It's crazy.
So, we'll move on. Yeah.
We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. We had a promo, a really nice promo with it was kind of cinematic promo there. Now, I always like to say this disclaimer to anyone who listens to podcasts. Listen, NXT is a developmental wrestling league where these young performers, men and women, are learning how to cut promos, be able to speak, have promo rebuttals, tell a storyline, as well as not just go out there and be meatheads and meet women and go wrestle. No, they have to sell us, and they're practicing what they learn all week with their instructors and the performers, not just doing lunges and push-ups and weights and choreographed wrestling moves. They're also doing it in a live audience, cutting it on live television in front of a live audience and a crowd. They're showing us. Now that's like if we were new, that will be us out there. So those wrestling podcasts like Wrestling Inc. I'm going to call you out because it's the Heel of the Ring podcast, and we are a bunch of heels. I'm going to call you out. And Wrestle Talk, that guy, you're so scared you can't even come out. You have a mask on when you do this, and you sit there and you crap on NXT every week because I listen to a different podcast to see, where I have to try to level the ring, the Heel of the Ring bar. and because we want to try to be above in the BR, we want to set the bar, and we want to try to. If you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best. So that's why I listen to see, what am I up against? Now I see you. They on Wrestle Talk with their mask. You crap on NXT. How terrible this is. How terrible this. Don't cover it. Do us a favor. Go get a girlfriend, and go cover your girlfriend, and leave NXT for people who's gonna appreciate what NXT is. Yes, this is the Jedi saying that from the Heel of the Ring podcast. So we move on from that. So I just wanted to be a heel there because I'm tired of the negativity. I understand if it was WWE Raw or SmackDown or AEW. Oh, that is terrible. And meanwhile, you guys kissed AEW's butt. You said how Double or Nothing was phenomenal. Chef Kiss. Meanwhile, there was 28 botches in the world champion did a lariat, a buckshot lariat, and couldn't even stand on his feet. He botched that. You had Jeff Hardy botch so many moves in that match with the Young Bucks, and to the point that his boots were unlaced. He couldn't even get on the ropes because his boots were unlaced. Come on. And then you're telling me that you have the audacity to attack NXT the way you do? I'm sorry. You lose credibility when it comes to me with that. I'm no, and we're gonna get to that, and we're gonna get to that spot. We're gonna trump you because with that crap that you tell people or persuade people, you don't cover NXT. Like I said, go get a girlfriend. Leave the wrestling to people who appreciate the wrestling. So I move on from there. That's for you, Wrestle Talk. So we'll move on here, Samurai. Let's go to the promo section that got me. That's why, yes, they have a little bit of criticism on it. You saw Tony D'Angelo con los Legado Fantasma in a beautiful yacht boat, having a sit down. You saw Tony with stacks and 2 dimes. You saw Cruz, Joaquin. You saw La Madrina, Lopez. First of all, how did that segment look with the boat and the yacht, man? It looked cool. I thought it was like
it was amazing. I liked it. It reminded me of something out of like an old school mafia movie or The Godfather.
Yeah, some people say, "Oh, that looks cheesy." Listen, once again, let it breathe. You gotta have an open mind. Have an open mind. This is supposed to be this. They're catering not just to you, not just to you, 39-year-old hams. It's also to young little kids, the next generation. That's what NXT is. They're catering to that young generation of kids who is going to, guess what? When they get to your age, they're going to be buying the tickets, and they're the ones that are going to be in the arenas doing like you do. This is awesome. They're going to do the same thing. So they're catering to that market as well. Me personally, the only thing I have an issue with this whole segment, we saw that they went back and forth. They finally agreed to something. They want to settle at In Your House, a 6-man tag. La Familia Fantasma versus Tony D'Angelo and the Goombas. That's just me calling them that. Now, stipulation is loser facet has to join the other family's organization. If Tony wins, D'Angelo, Legado Fantasma has to work for Tony D'Angelo, vice versa. The criticism I have here, Samurai, I think I would have put the stipulation: losing team leaves NXT. Now, here's why. I think Legado Fantasma is ready for the next level. We spoke about it last week. We've been saying it for about 2 weeks now. I think they're ready to go to SmackDown. They could even bring Elektra Lopez up. Although, we'll get to Elektra Lopez right after this about her. They could even bring her up there. And I say because if Rusev had CJ Perry, which is Alana was best face, and she wasn't great on the microphone. She had that Russian accent, wasn't so great, and her wrestling skills were so let's face it, she was eye candy, very beautiful looking woman to see there. She was, and that's the reason why she was on that as successful with Rusev Monday night. But if you look at her skills and ability to speak, it needed work. What's your thought on that stipulation? Did you like that working for one another, or would you have liked? I know we're not going to see Legado Fantasma no more. If I would have booked it, what's your thoughts?
I think that that stipulation doesn't make any sense because Italians working for Mexicans. No offense, doesn't make any sense to me. Or vice versa, Mexicans working for Italians doesn't make any sense. But I do think that they should have made it a loser leaves town match, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. You pack up your organization and you go back, and that's how and then you could elevate. And then you could elevate. I don't think the reason why I say why not Tony D'Angelo. Let me say something. Tony D'Angelo is going to be a really good star. He has that accent. He could work. But two things with Tony D'Angelo. One is, 2 dimes and stacks. You could see they're not ready. They're not ready. Their way. They don't feel. They show with the way they conduct themselves and when they want to talk, cut their time to cut a bit of small lines of promo. They're not confident. They don't talk with confidence. They say the lines with, but like with they you can see that shy intimidation on the 2 kids. Wrestling wise, we saw them last week in a match. They were a little bit limited. I know they need more seasoning. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They need more seasoning. They need more time. It's not time for them for that main stage. Now, Tony D'Angelo, I think he's a phenomenal wrestler, but are we going to get Tony D'Angelo like another repackage of Enzo Amore if he goes up? I don't know. Unless if he's going to, I don't know. I don't know how would they. Do you think Tony D'Angelo will have to change his gimmick if he goes up to the main roster? But then you leave 2 dimes and it doesn't make sense. He's a made man, so I don't know. That's why I think he's the one that's gonna have to stay and continue to rule NXT. You might want to put the NXT heavyweight title on him, eventually. Mm-hmm. Just to say, here, I know you feel like you want to go. We're gonna let you be king of NXT for a while, for maybe 200 plus days with the title. And while we'll see, maybe the writers come up something for some gimmick for him to come when they're ready to bring him up. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he should just like they all should just stay down in NXT and get a little bit more. Well, not everybody, just like the family, so to speak. They need more seasoning, but Legado up in Tasman, they have everything they need. They're really good professional wrestlers, and I feel like they are more than ready to be up on SmackDown.
Yeah, because I think so. I don't remember too much of the matches where Del Toro, Cruz, and Joaquin. Are they ready to be in that main roster? Because I know that Escobar is ready. Santo is ready.
Yes, I think that both Del Toro, Cruz, and Joaquin Wilde are ready to go to the main roster. I don't even think they changed. Did they change Joaquin's name, or is it still Joaquin Wilde?
I'm going with Wilde. I'm going to go with Wilde.
I mean, I'm trying to call him Wilde too. That's what I know him as.
All right. So,
but well, like we see that they're ready. They're more than ready. They've been in NXT for the past 6 years. So
they're ready.
They're ready. Definitely.
And that segment, I'm going to give that segment a beat because the storyline wasn't the greatest with the puns and the jokes, or it could have been better, but it made its purpose. It was a promo to set up this stipulation in Your House, and it worked.
Yes, I agree. I'm going to give it a B+ just because I like the yacht.
Well, we'll move on. We saw a quick promo here. Joe Gacy cut a powerful promo about Bron Breakker upbringing. It's translating into an interview with Breakker. We saw Breakker get upset hearing what Joe Gacy had to say, and he almost broke the TV out of frustration there. It looks like the mind games are being set up, and it looks like they're trying to prepare us just in case we might have a new champion on come Saturday night.
I think so, because do you really think that Bron Breakker's like not ready for the main roster? He is. Well, he's kind of ready. He's just, his father's a Hall of Famer, so
I think he could be ready. I think he might be ready, but when do you bring him up? Do you bring him up, the Monday after Hell in the Cell, or do you bring him up Money in the Bank, with a, so we know, who knows, or we shall see. Because I would like, personally, if they don't, I would like them to get exchanged title reigns. Gracie wins, and they keep the feud kind of going. Breaker's trying to get his title back, and they settled it at the next premium event, coming up. And when Breaker wins, and then you could, I don't know. We'll see. It looks like it, but I won't be surprised. We shall see Saturday if we're gonna have a Joe Gracie title reign here coming up. It'll be interesting. At least it's intriguing. At least it gives you suspense. You're not there thinking, oh man, it's a total squash. It's a 50-50 booking, which a lot of wrestling fans or hardcore wrestling fans, those AEW marks, don't like. They hate it. But it is what it is there. We'll move on here. So while we come back from that promo, we set up for the next contest. It's going to be Cora Jade we saw versus Elektra Lopez. Last week, Elektra Lopez had a match with Abby Fire, and when she fell in defeat, she left the ring irate, and she saw Cora Jade with a bag of popcorn where she was sitting at ringside, and she slapped it out of her hands with setup for tonight's match. All in all, both ladies in the match coming in. A match that was a little bit sloppy. I think Elektra Lopez needs to learn how to have chemistry with her opponents. Also, if she's fighting someone with a physique smaller than her, needs to learn how to adapt better. Learn how to have that chemistry, sell more moves, or have the help put a smaller fighter a little over with certain moves that she provides. There was a couple arm bars that you saw that I have to react. A little bit of a late, wasn't kind of a botch, but it was a late reaction. So you want to call it a botch, you could call it a botch, but that was just a sloppy match in both of us. And I was a little disappointed with Cora Jade because she had some phenomenal match. She had a phenomenal match with Natalia, and I thought she was ready to take her wrestling skills to a greater level, especially fighting a big woman. Well, Elektra Lopez ain't that big, but bigger in stature. When you stand them next to them, I expected a little better from Cora Jade, which I was a little disappointed on her. But all in all, the match, it served its purpose. It wasn't that long, but you look like that Lopez needs to be in the performance center just a little more, just for the emphasis part. That she could do the match, she could do the moves, and she knows when to wrap up and when to do the sell on the mic and sell when she's upset afterwards with it. But I think she needs help there. But like I mentioned, Samurai, before I let you go real quick, we saw CJ Perry, who wasn't great in either of those, and she was on the main roster for quite some time. I think Lopez could work if she's around you could have actually Natalia take her under the wing in the main roster in SmackDown and help her. What's your thoughts on that match? And I know I said a whole mouthful there.
Well, my thoughts on the match, basically I'm going to agree with you and say it was sloppy because I don't think they don't have the chemistry that's needed. They need to work on that a little bit more. But they're what it is. It's okay to not have chemistry. They're just starting out their feud, so I think they will grow with time, and I think they can actually deliver a barn burner if they really give them the opportunity to.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And you know what? If they have another match later down the road, it'll be interesting to see if they improve. I'm going to give the match a D plus, because I know they could improve. I know, like I said, Elektra Lopez, always could sell after the match, getting irate, the promos, before the match, the classic heel, and Cora Jade, she's got the look. She's got a look and an it factor too, so hopefully, ladies, get going there. We saw Jade finally win. Finally got into a flying with a tilt world scissors to take down the double stomp. So we shall see there. So going forward there, we saw promo. We saw setting up for the women's tournament, especially Roxanne Perez. She's putting over Jade. She was the big reason why she's in the WWE, explaining that she's like her sister, and that's why she needs to defeat Tiffany Stratton next week. And Stratton, did her own separate promo, how she's successful. She's a cheerleader, made of money, people of money, lived a good life. And both ladies are setting up here. Let me tell you something first about Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton could cut a freaking promo. She's got something of an it factor that I told you before last week. What WWE looks in their divas and their ladies, similar like a cross reference of she has the something look of Liv Morgan. She got something looking like that, like a Charlotte. She's got a little bit of everybody in her. That kind of persona what WWE likes to look for in the competitor in the 80s. And I think she's got a Nick factor. Tiffany also cuts a great promo. And right now, anyone right now in NXT who's over, who I is going to be, it's Roxy too. You pick Roxy to win that tournament. I got Tiffany. We're on the opposite side of the spectrum on that. But either lady that wins, to me, well deserved.
Exactly. I agree with you. I mean, only thing I don't like about Tiffany Stratton is her wrestling ability. Like, she's got everything that you look for in a woman. And as far as her wrestling, it's not great. She botches she botched twice last week, and she has to really work on that. She overshot a sunset flip. How do you do that?
Yeah, maybe sometimes some of these lady wrestlers, or not her, just her, but wrestlers in general, they make maybe the moonsaults, because that's when we see a lot of the botches on Samurai. We see it a lot in almost enough for wrestling. They overbotch the sunset flips, the moonsaults. They botch a lot of that, and they're gonna get hurt. Maybe some of these wrestlers aren't meant to be doing these moonsaults. I know it wows the crowd and it gets us revving and gets us, ooh, that was awesome type of move. But maybe some wrestlers don't need to be doing moonsaults yet. Keep it simple. Sometimes a good learn how to do a good suplex. Or German suplex, belly to belly suplex. Sell that. Sell me that. Sell me a good underarm suplex. Something with some suplexes or something really cool. You want to impress me. That's an impressive. Nice. Those kind of moves there. And you don't have to everything be a moonsault, Asahi moonsault, or sunset flips. It's just it's okay. We like the high flyers, but it doesn't. It's not for everyone. So let's see with that how those ladies, we're gonna set up. It's gonna be a setup a good women's finals match next week on NXT. Tuesday. So it's not, and I thought it was gonna be in your house, but no, they're gonna leave it for the NXT program for the finals.
Indeed. All right.
So we'll move on to the next promo. Before the next match, we see a promo. Wes Lee was backstage talking and how he was talking about last week, and we had Sanga coming up and gave him a nice pep talk, and Lee wasn't hearing it. So I know he was kind of like skeptical, but Sanga trying to tell him he has a lot of respect and trying to be an encouraging big giant. I personally am a big fan of Sanga. I am a huge fan, especially last week, though, his wrestling ability and skills. He also good on the promo with the mic. And the more I see of Sanga, the more I get more and more a fan of this big giant.
Yeah, I mean, I like Sanga. Sanga's he kind of reminds me of Veer Mahan, and the aspect of that's what Veer Mahan be doing.
You know who he gave me more vibes of, but with a better microphone skill? Braun Strowman.
Indeed.
But a better microphone skill. I saw the wrestling was good. He was a powerhouse. I saw him last week, and that contest where him and Wes Lee, we thought it was going to be a squash chop, but no, it was a good competitive match. But we go to the ring here as finally Wes Lee gets his hand on Zion Quinn in a matchup here with two talented young men. It had obviously plenty chemistry. There was a lot of chemistry in the match. It was a strong match, back and forth. Quinn gets me worried. Not worried. I was saying to myself, what does NXT want with Quinn? What's the end game for Quinn? He's got the look. He's got the height. He has the physique. He wrestles pretty good. Now I got to see him wrestle with others other than Wes Lee, because Wes Lee was good. It's a good competitor. Wesley's going to be. It's another one's going to be a really good wrestler for many years in the main card as a intercontinental or United States mid card. He's going to be there for a long time, and possibly if he gets himself over, possibly a title run down the line, maybe. That's talking about maybe 3 years from now. You never know. But let me ask you about Zion Quinn. What's your thought? What's his end game here?
His end game, I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. Where they're going with him, it's confusing because I'm not sure if he's definitely a heel, right?
That's the thing. He looks like he's a heel. He could play the role of the heel, but is he in NXT? Is he just floating and spinning his wheels?
Honestly, I don't know. I was gonna tell you like that. I really don't know because it's confusing because you don't know what Zion Quinn is. I know who he is as a character, but I don't know what his motivation is for attacking Wes Lee.
Oh no, the storyline. But I'm not saying is he a future champion in NXT with North American?
I believe he could be, what am I saying? North American champion. I mean, he fits the mold.
He does.
And eventually, if you want, you can put him in the world title program. He's that good.
I believe that as well. He's got, like I said, he has the look. He checks the box. He checks the box here. I would check to see how long he's been on NXT and where he sits there. But I think after I won't believe coming. If he's still on the main roster or hasn't been released, if he's still there in September, look for him to get a big push, in my opinion. That's just me. I think he's got something, and also Wes Lee. I think that's going to be that. This is a program that these two guys are going to be wrestling, barring injuries, and we'll keep an eye on both of them, their careers here so far. So we move on, and we come to the big Women's Champion Summit. Now, this was a little weird. It was contract signing. Instead of calling it a signing, they called it a summit. Of course, you have Toxic Attraction, Mandy Rose, Gigi, and what was the other girls?
Wendy Chu.
No, not Wendy Chu. Her tag team partner.
JC J.
Jessie J. I always get her confused for some reason. I don't know why. And then you have Katana Chase, Katana Carter, and Wendy Chu on the other side. You saw both ladies. First, you had cutting promos. You saw Toxic Attraction cutting their promos, and you saw Katana and Carter cut them. And let me for nothing, both Katana and Kaden, both ladies are very good on the mic. They're very good. Their exchange back and forth rebuttals on their promos were excellent. I think they're both ladies both four ladies could work with the microphone. Phenomenal job. We saw Mandy Rose try to cut a promo. The crowd signed the contract. Wendy Chu signed the contract. The crowd was chanting. Mandy signed it. Finally, we get the contract signed. And Wendy Chu throws a spitball on Mandy Rose, and all mayhem broke loose. But here's the thing that I was like, oh no. Did you see Mandy Rose attacking Wendy Chu?
No, I was looking at their ass.
My God, she did not sell that. Mandy, you've been on the main roster. You've been on Raw. You've been on SmackDown. Please sell the punches much better on Wendy Chu. I know it's that developmental, but not from you. You are a seasoned pro. You've been there. You've been in the main roster. You're there to get you over, to revitalize and revamp your career. You gotta sell those punches on Wendy Chu. That looked really bad. If you guys have a chance later on after the program, watch that part. Wasn't really good from her part, but Toxic Attraction going with Chase and Carter going at it. I loved it, that back and forth, because you want that spice. You want to say, you know what if you're watching NXT for free on USA, you got to show me why are you going to make me want to go watch your product on a Saturday night? And that there provided it, and you're like, whoa, these ladies, whoa. That was phenomenal. Then, of course, you see Mandy Rose get placed on the table, and Wendy Chu hits her from a splash off the, on her and breaks the table. And then you see all three ladies, Katana Chase, Carter, Wendy Chu, hold on all of them with the tag belts, with all the gold. Let me say this: In Your House, do you see a new NXT Women's Champion?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you see a new tag team champions?
Yes, I think that Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are well overdue for a championship.
Okay. You know what? I could see that. I could see that. Because Toxic Attraction just lost their belts and Stand and Delivered, and they regained it the night before because they had implications of elevating Raquel and releasing Dakota for some reason why, but and they made them drop the belts, and of course everybody went their separate ways after that. So we shall see there with Toxic Attraction, because remember, there's supposed to be a women's tournament on the main roster, and they could use a great tag team like Toxic Attraction, but we shall see. Then we saw another video package for Giovanni Vinci. We'll move on with that. It was just what it was. It's coming soon. Tease us with a Ferrari and so forth. We had the match. One of the big matches we saw. Solo Sikoa versus Duke Hudson. Now, this match, we saw backstage first. Prior to that, they cut up. They had a promo. They interact between both of the wrestlers. Duke Hudson being a little bit of a douche, saying, if you think you're ready, you haven't been in a wrestler with me. And he says, you know what, let's go for it. Kind of like challenging, a little testosterone back and forth. The match was pretty good. I've asked you, is Duke Hudson, he's an elder wrestler, because he has also look. Why is he still in NXT? Is he there just to get people over?
Yes, I think so, because I think I think he could be on his way to the main roster, I want to say.
Okay. All right. So all in all, the match was solid. It was a good match. Of course, anything with some Sikoa in it, it's going to be eye-popping worthy. And of course, you see Sikoa get the victory here. I give the match a good beat, because it did what it did. It got the crowd pumping. We got to see Sikoa, and we enjoyed it.
I'm gonna go with a B plus.
All right. Then we move on to the next one. We saw Grayson Waller taking off Jeff Briggs. Now, earlier there was a promo. Grayson Waller was talking to a bunch of folks backstage, making fun out of the country bumpkin. And of course, he's right behind me, and they challenged for a match. So Brooke Jensen, and we were told Brooke Jensen and Fallon Henley to stay in the back. And the match was on to the battle of the big guys. You know what? Both of these guys are big, man. I didn't know how big Grayson Waller really is. He's a big guy. Impressive. Both guys, pretty good match there. I like when Grayson Waller, he kind of like rode him like a buck like a cowboy. He straddled him. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was funny. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes everyone's favorite Von Wagner, to interfere. First we saw his manager come out, Mr. Pippin. What's his name?
I know you're talking about.
I call him Mr. Pip. Harvey Whitman. No, it's Mr. Robert Stone. Robert Stone and Sophia Cromwell. They came down, all jokes aside, and they came to ringside. And Von Wagner came from through the crowd and attacked. Josh Briggs. They look like there's some unfinished blood there, and of course you saw Brooks Jensen and Fillon come into the ring. It looks like It looks like Von Wagner just wants to destroy different people. I don't know. We got to give it time to develop. It feels like something's missing here. Like a story needs to be told, or something's got to give. So we find out something's up. We got to find out what it is. We got to give it time to mature in this storyline.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I'm not sure what Sophia Sophia Cromwell, is she part of the Robert Stone brand, or is she just there to rein in Von Wagner? Like,
It's the other. I think it's the other way around. I think they want to Stone and wants to be in Sophia Cromwell's staple. I think that's how that goes.
I mean, realistically, I don't think Robert Stone needs to be in a managerial role because he's too good of a wrestler to be in that role. But we'll see. He might.
Maybe.
I mean, it might be like a tag team type of thing where he only does tag team wrestling. Like, so
maybe he's nursing an injury.
Well, that's also a thing. But he's been a manager for like ever since he came to NXT. So I mean, what we could see here is we could see Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs versus Von Wagner and Robert Stone, with Sophia Cromwell in the corner of Robert Stone and Von Wagner, and Fallon Henley in the corner of Josh and Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe he's ready to wrestle, injury wise, recovery, and he's been cleared to go in there. So we move on to the next one. We have another ladies match is Ivy Niles versus Katana James in a match here with Katana James coming in here. Saw her in the women's breakout tournament wrestle, and tonight Ivy Niles trying to stay focused on this match, but it was clear that Diamond Mine Drama had her attention divided. She got beat up early by Katana James. Katana James, what's your thoughts? I really like what Katana James. She has another Stacy Keibler type of vibe. Look, I kind of like it. I hope she gets the proper seasoning she needs to get ready for the roster. I can see her going up in about another year, but she's checking the boxes too.
Yes, she is. I mean, I don't really know about her, her gimmick, but it is what it is. She's a school. She's got that school teacher vibe.
She's a mathematician.
Yeah, like that. That's really weird to me, but she's hot, so.
Yeah, she checks the boxes there. But we saw Ivy get the victory there, and of course it was a good match. I gave the match a C. Solid. It was good because I think Katana James has got something working here, and Ivy Niles, she's ready. They're gonna put her over soon. It looks like but while she leaves the ring, the victory, Pretty Deadly comes out and intervenes here to trying to come to the ring, and seeing her by herself momentarily. And out for the save come the Creed brothers for the save. And I liked it. That's all. Like, again, what I mentioned a few seconds ago was you have to show me why I need to invest on a Saturday night, on a nice summer Saturday night, why I'm going to watch this NXT premium event and come home or have a sense of urgency to watch it. And this is a reason why. This match with the Creed brothers and Pretty Deadly, after brawl, intrigues you. What's your thoughts on that, real quick?
I mean, where did they even come from? Where did the Creed brothers come from? The crowd or
the back? The camera angles didn't show us, but it was where they showed us.
They just materialized in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for what it was pretty good. I didn't think they were going to beat up on Ivy Nile though, because they're not going to do that. They're not AEW.
Not only that, you saw them taunting them about Diamond Mine and the assumption setting up the match. So it was cool. It was cool. We move on to the main event. I know we're a little constricted with time, folks. I'm sorry if it sounds a little rushed, but it's that we have a time limit issue. We saw Cameron Grimes taking on Nathan Frazier with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams in ringside on the commentary booth. Bro, Nathan Frazier, his entrance was phenomenal. I loved it. The song, but the entrance they giving him, they're boosting him up. Personally, if he were to ever go to the main roster, I would call him Flash Frazier. Will be phenomenal. The Flash Frazier or Frazier Flash, whatever. Flash Frazier will be phenomenal. I loved it. He is impressive with his speed. and the ability. This match was a perfect match for all those haters who hates NXT and say, you need to watch this match. No botches, great chemistry, good. Both Cameron Grimes and Nathan Frazier, professionals in the ring. Samurai.
I was actually blown away by that because like Nathan Frazier, when he was in NXT UK, he was really good that fast, and like he didn't do so well over there. Well, I don't know. I stopped watching NXT UK after a while, but he actually didn't do so bad there. So when he came to the States, I was actually surprised.
Yeah, and the match was a good solid 15 minutes there. It was a good match. You saw Frazier with a reverse power bomb into a sunset flip bomb for a near fall. Phenomenal, man. And all in all, we see at the end, though, the champion retained. Grimes with a pin finish. I thought that was going to end in the disqualification with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes interfering, but I kind of didn't want to see Frazier get down on the pin, but you also want to keep the North American champion honest here going before the premium event, the pay-per-view. We want to make sure he gets a win. So I can see it okay and not, but Frazier was impressive. Grimes was impressive. Both of them there. I loved it. And then, of course, you saw Trick Williams interfere with Carmelo Hayes at the end, and Carmelo. You saw that Grimes didn't fall for it. He knew he was up to. He sniffed it. He was prepared. I thought Sikoa was going to come out because we saw Sikoa promise to watch his back to make sure he retains that belt because he's got next. All in all, how do you like about the match and the closing?
I would give honestly, I'm going to give the match an A+ because
Absolutely.
it was how good it was. But the closing, I don't like when they do that. Like they ambush the champion every time. That really annoys me.
But they didn't end with him being beat up, so which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that he got out unscathed, but it's annoying when they do that every time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean we have to find time to do predictions because In Your House is this Saturday, so
I don't have enough time. We'll have to do a separate video on that.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a separate video. Get for our In Your House we'll probably run it an hour before the NXT In Your House. We'll give our predictions and our thoughts, and then we'll send it over live to NXT on Saturday. So tune in for that. And we'll do both Hell in the Cell and NXT on Saturday. We're short out of time, folks. We apologize for the rush show, but the Ranger game is about to start, and we have other commitment on the network to do. But for myself, BX Sports Jedi, Samurai, we thank you for this is the NXT edition. All in all, I give the show a B as a show. It was entertaining and I enjoyed it. And we'll be here next week. We'll stay tuned for Wednesday's edition. Actually Thursday night for the Wednesday edition of AEW with Adam, the Diff Man, and of course check out our SmackDown, Rampage, as well as the NXT predictions with Hell in the Cell on Saturday. So for me, thank you guys. We'll see you next time here on the Heel of the Ring podcast. Later.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
at
looking
that, I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
best
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
now.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up.